What is going on, everybody? My name is... Wait. How the f*** do I start? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Pod Gods. My name is Jake Lottrell, Media Marketing President of...
Zimbabwe.
I was going to say another country. Zimbabwe.
You're a trillionaire there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we gave away $10 trillion.
Yeah. No, it was it Zimbabwe?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
40 cents in
Yep.
America. Brady Hall and EXP Realty, Tyler Miller team, slinging houses since 2002.
Nice.
2002.
Nice. Should we...
Where's he going? He's coming back. He's leaving. He's back. Let's talk about this.
What? Oh, yeah.
First ever merch
Yeah.
of
Oh,
the
shit.
Pod Gods.
Yeah.
Stanley, thank you, my wonderful girlfriend Maddie, for giving this for me. Very cool. Now we have
That's
to
cool.
create.
Let me see it. I didn't even really look at it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's super nice.
Yeah.
Is it actually like a Stanley? Oh, it is a Stanley.
Yeah.
You
No, that's
basic bitch.
Yeah.
You need to put some stickers on there too.
The Pod God sticker.
Oh, the QR code or something. I wonder if you can get it laser etched in there, the QR code.
Oh, I would assume
That'd be kind of cool.
that would be.
I don't know if it'd work, but...
But I walk into the office today, and first thing Jake says to me is, "Are you ready for the end of the world?"
Oh, yeah. Well, okay, so I'll say my side before you interrupt.
Okay. It's all yours.
Here's what I'm saying. The WEF has been saying, watch out.
What is WEF?
World Economic Forum.
Okay.
The leaders of it, or leader, I don't know, has been saying for the past couple of years, well, I'll say this. Before COVID happened, they have been saying, watch out, there's probably going to be a pandemic, and lo and behold, COVID happened. And then now they're saying 2025, there's going to be a big cyber attack, which I don't know how they would predict that. That's so weird.
Unless they're doing it.
Hey,
You're just saying this.
Yeah,
Your
I'm
story.
just saying
You
what
go
I
ahead.
hear.
You keep going.
So I'm like, that's weird. And, the older you get, you realize you can't trust the government. They're not looking out for you. That's not that controversial to say.
No, that's not. That's pretty factual.
Younger, you're like, why would the government do that to their own citizens? Blah, blah. But then you get older and you realize, like, oh, it's a business. Like
Everything is.
They're trying to make money. Anyways, so then Leave the World Behind or whatever, that new movie that just came out. Obama produced it.
Sure.
Okay, well, that's about like off the grid, and then there's been a huge solar storm that's happening, and we're supposed to lose power. The grid's supposed to collapse, and then also there's like 5 or 6 billionaires that are making right now underground doomsday bunkers. Like, for example, Mark Zuckerberg's is in Hawaii, worth over $100 million. So, and also on a podcast, there's this old CIA guy that was in the CIA. He's on a podcast, and the host asked him, what is, like, as someone who's worked in the CIA, what do you think is the craziest thing that you've ever heard, or something that we should be afraid of or know that isn't classified? And he said, honestly, the biggest thing is people don't realize how fragile our grid is. And so I'm just saying, it's been on my mind. And after you have a kid, Mike, right now, we're in the middle of a talk. After you have a kid, and as you get older, you start thinking about the future and what that's going to be like for Felix. You want to protect your kid at all costs, and your wife or fiance or partner. And so what's been comforting for me is I've been looking into just to have, I know it's, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Like a solar powered generator, and a food supply for like 3 months, just little buckets that I can put in the basement, and some water supply. That's it. If shit hits the fan, cool. If it doesn't, even better. But like, I'd rather just have it in the basement, sitting in a corner, just in case for a rainy day if something happens. That's not that crazy.
No, it's not that crazy.
Yeah. And I want to get a gun and write a manifesto. No, I'm kidding. But, you know, I just feel, you know, with the way the world's going, it's getting crazy. And I just...
Oh, the world's crazy. Every single day it's crazier.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
So...
I feel like there's nothing we can do about anything.
Yeah. But the things I can control, I'd rather have a little bit of preparedness, like a generator in case power goes out, food in case, you know, something happens to our food supply chain, or water, just, you know, the basics just in case.
Back to the caveman days.
Yeah, you never know. So, and the world, I mean...
How do you think you would be?
Like, how would I handle it?
Yeah, like
not well.
Completely off grid. Like, gotta kill shit for food.
Yeah, I mean, I would do what I have to do. You know what I mean? Or I would learn or try to learn.
Yeah.
But as it stands right now, I probably wouldn't do well. I don't know how to skin a deer, and, you know, I know how to fish. I can shoot a gun.
Well?
Not bad. Like, I used to shoot the shotgun at the...
At Cabela's?
The clay pigeons. No, at my uncle's deer shack.
Clay pigeons are fun.
They are super fun.
Well, sounds like the world's going to end here soon. It's all right.
I hope not, but I'm just saying, if it does, you know... And I don't think it's going to end. I just think there's going to be, like, a catastrophe.
How long do you think that'll last?
If the grid goes out, probably 3 to 6 months. Because it's such a fragile infrastructure, and all the stuff we have, like the electric grid and like this, I don't know what they're called, but we get them from overseas. We don't build them here, so we'd have to like have it built, get it sent over here. And I think they would do it on purpose. It's like anyways.
Money?
Yeah.
Money.
And not even money. I think it's power.
I think it's money.
You think, dude? They have infinite money.
Yeah.
Money to them is nothing, and like they got to that goal of like, okay, we have money, we have all the money. Now it's like, what else is there? Power. Let's take out the internet so they can't communicate. Let's take out, you know.
What is that gonna do for them though?
It makes us reliant on them. That's what they want. That's truly what they want. Because when we rely on them, they have all the power. So.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that crazy. And I think
I don't think it's like not crazy though.
Yeah, well, and I don't
negative there.
I think a lot of people probably in some sense feel that way or think that way.
What, that they want power?
Just everything I've said. That I feel like in my gut something's about to happen, and people are just, I feel like everybody kind of feels that, like, we had the pandemic, okay, what's next? What do they have planned for us next? I think it's kind of like planned obsolescence.
Yeah. You see all the Epstein stuff?
Yeah, and that too, I think,
that's wild.
And they're releasing it, a delayed release of the names. It's like, what are you distracting us from? What's going on? What is this? And that too, it's like Alex. You know Alex Jones.
Yeah, that dude's crazy.
Crazy, but he told everybody about Epstein Island 10 years ago.
Yeah.
He told everybody about the Bilderberg Group, all these things that all of a sudden years later is like, oh, wow, he was right. That's crazy. So I don't even trust our tap water. I have a reverse osmosis water filtration. We have chlorine, heavy metals, fluoride, all this stuff in our water.
Gotta go to OROC.
OROC?
Get that clean well water.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Anyway, let's talk about your origin story.
This is going to be a long clip in the beginning.
I want to know everything and anything.
Yeah. Which is just where I was born.
Where you were born, you fucking cake eater.
Yeah, we'll start there.
And then we'll just kind of go from there. I know you went through a lot of shit, seen a lot of shit, smoked crack out of a light bulb, and snorted cocaine out of a male's asshole. So.
Yeah, typical Tuesday. No, never smoked crack, never snorted whatever you
cocaine
out of a
man's. Asshole.
But asshole.
Yeah.
Never did that. Not yet. Yeah. So,
Praying every day
Yeah.
that opportunity comes.
I was born in Edina, Minnesota, December 11th, 1988.
That was a couple days ago.
Yeah, it was like a month ago.
At least 7 days.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I grew up in Edina, went to school there. Parents got divorced when I was 3. I'm an only child, which sucks. Everybody's always like, "Oh, you're spoiled." And
Were
I
you?
probably was.
Yeah, I mean Edina.
No, see, we weren't rich. It was my mom's a single mom, worked as a flight attendant. Like that's not, dude. And our house was not big.
Where'd you graduate from?
Edina. All right. Well, I'm telling you, I did not have like a.
Where'd you live right next to?
It was like the across kitty corner to the country club, but like outside the. I wish I had a picture. I'll put up a picture of the house I grew up in. You guys would be like, what? But yeah, so parents got divorced when I was 3.
How'd that affect you right away? Nothing? I mean, you don't remember.
I don't
it.
remember like when they separated.
Yeah.
Because I was so young, but I do remember, like my dad coming to pick me up. And then, so that kind of sucked because like in Edina, all my friends, their parents were still together and.
Rich as hell.
Some of them. I mean, okay. Everybody thinks that everybody's rich in Edina, and it's just not true. It's not true. There's a lot of poor people in Edina, surprisingly.
Poor people?
Yes.
What are you considering poor?
Like only make like $500,000 a year. I'm just kidding. No, but it's not everybody's rich in Edina. But anyway, so.
What do you think the average annual income in Edina is?
That's actually a good question. I don't know.
300,000?
No, less than that.
I'm going to Google this.
Yeah.
You keep going.
No, because I want you to be listening and not half in, half out.
Average annual
income in Edina.
Edina, Minnesota.
I'm guessing maybe 100.
No way. I made 100.
Yeah. That's not average though in any circumstance. So like that's high. The average annual income is like $38,000 a year.
With a
in the
median
US.
age of 44.8 and a median household income of 125,000.
Yeah.
In 2022.
Yeah. Do you think all of a sudden
125,000, dude, that's huge.
Yeah, no, that's what yeah.
Like that's a lot of money.
That's a lot. My mom didn't make that, I can tell you that. So, anyways, so yeah, only child. I would go back and what?
The average household income in Edina is $179,991.
Okay.
With a poverty rate of, what do you think?
Define poverty.
Poverty?
Does that mean like homeless and
No.
living on welfare?
Poverty is like under that average, probably.
Oh, okay. Average poverty rate of. Guess?
Yeah.
Like a percentage?
Yeah.
I'm guessing like 4%.
4.27.
Yeah. That's not, I mean.
That's such a small number.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I'm just saying that people think everybody in Edina is rich, and it's not true.
It's not true, though.
What?
Okay, in Minnesota,
All right, we got to, if we want to get
your
through
average
this,
annual salary is $51,000, and I'm going to stop it right there and just let that sink in.
You're not, okay.
That the average in Edina is almost 4 times the average in Minnesota.
Yeah,
and that's how we're going to end that conversation.
Edina's a wealthy city, but my whole thing was not everybody in Edina is rich.
Wealthiest city?
No, wealthiest is... It's not Edina, though. No, and I'm not talking shit about Edina, because Edina was amazing.
Look at there. Edina, top of the list.
Number 1?
Richest city in Minnesota. Forbes.
It isn't.
Number
It's
one.
Minnetonka Beach, Sunfish Lake, Woodland, Greenwood, with a mean household income of $351,000. Edina's not even on this list.
Minnetonka Beach.
You just lied. You said it's on top of the list, and we're looking at the same list.
Minnetonka Beach.
All right, let's get through this.
Sunfish Lake.
We're stuck on Edina. We're never gonna get through this.
Yeah, because they're. Just admit you're a cake eater. Admit people in Edina are wealthier.
Yeah, I never.
Than 90% of the people in Minnesota.
I know, but I'm saying though that we weren't at all rich.
Okay.
That's what and my whole thing was people think that everybody in Edina. So if I say, hey, I'm from Edina, they automatically go, oh, you lived in a mansion. Oh, you're rich. Oh, that was my thing. Of course, Edina. I loved Edina, by the way.
Why? Because you're surrounded by a bunch of rich people?
No, because it was an amazing like household.
Okay, we are way off topic.
Your house that you lived in with your parents, probably twice as big as the house.
We moved there 4 years ago.
What about before that?
They never owned a home.
We were in a shelter.
No, I didn't. We just rented.
Okay, but how big was the house?
The house we rented?
Yeah.
I shared a room with my brother my whole life until we got into this house 4 years ago.
It's not that crazy.
No, it's not. I'm not. I'm just saying we didn't have a big house. It was
Okay.
probably only 1,200 square feet. But we had a water fountain out in the driveway, which is pretty badass, and a huge koi pond that had a 30-foot waterfall.
All right. So
But we rented.
who's
We
the
didn't know.
cake eater here? You rented?
No, we weren't rich, and like my parents tell me that like we were. They were like we struggled forever.
Yeah.
Until my dad like really grew. To
Yeah,
be who
no,
he is today.
my-
and now yeah, they're probably pretty wealthy.
I love
I'd
how
say.
we're like
I mean, he probably makes $500,000 a year.
fuck. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I'm like a fifth of the way there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna catch him one day.
Yeah. All
This
right,
week?
we're stuck. I might have to cut. I'll leave some of that, but that is such a long.
Okay, so
Drawn out.
Edina, you're rich, but not rich, whatever that means.
Shut up. This is such a dead joke at this point. All right, so.
Divorced, elementary school. How was that?
Yeah, so elementary school was great. I had fun, and it was just a normal
A
childhood.
lot of good friends.
Yeah, the only thing that I always felt like I like stood out because my parents were divorced and I was an only child, and I'd
Yeah.
go over to like my friend's house and they have like older brothers and siblings and their parents were together, and you know, my mom flew, she's a flight attendant, so I would be like staying at random people's houses, whether it be like friends or my cousin's house or you know, whatever.
Your dad's house.
Or my dad's house, but so yeah, it was kind of like chaotic and like lonely at times, because if something happened, like it wasn't like I can just go talk to my brother or sister, like, so it was kind of like I had to like internalize a lot of shit. But yeah, school was fine. I was kind of like the class clown even in elementary school, and then middle school is where I kind of started to, like, you know, you start going through puberty, and I started to struggle with school. And I remember in like 6th or 7th grade, I like really tried to apply myself and really do well in school, and I only got B's and C's because it's just so boring. Like I just don't get how teachers expect students to sit there and talk about numbers and all this stuff, and it was just like, it's not fun. And I didn't have the discipline to like grind out homework and get home and have video games and TV, but be like, okay, I'm not going to do those. I'm going to sit down and do my homework. But I really tried one year. And when I realized I only got B's and C's and like 1 D, I was like, all right, all bets are off. Like, fuck all this. I'm just going to do what I can. But like once I get home, I'm not doing homework. It's so boring. So.
Did you like math?
Math?
Yeah.
No.
I loved math.
Did you?
Yeah.
What did I like? I liked reading. I like reading. I like writing.
Really?
Yeah.
I suck at both of those.
Really?
Dude, I can't.
Even if you find like a really good book.
I can't spell.
Really?
I can't spell worth a shit.
What's your vocabulary like?
Terrible.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
That's right. It's not
I know what
noticeable.
contingency means, so that's a big thing.
Yeah.
For me.
That's cool.
Briefly, be tough for me to spell that right now correctly.
Just try.
Even Wednesday.
Try briefly.
Briefly.
Yeah. Watch,
we-
I got it wrong, so I'm like, yeah, and on the screen it's like, eh.
We're both wrong.
But yeah, so school was a struggle for me. I always wanted to be liked by everybody.
Yeah.
I had like
I
this,
think most people.
Yeah. I always had this like people pleasing mentality and didn't want to let anybody down and wanted to make everybody feel or like laugh or feel good.
Class clown?
Yeah. And I think it was just like a defense mechanism for like
What was happening at home?
Yeah, and it's not like
what was happening at home that made you feel like that? Seeing your dad do things, or
yeah, like there was like one time specifically, my dad picked me up and he was drunk, and my mom and dad got into it and were like, "You're not taking my son. You're drunk and blah blah blah," and that like stuck with me, and I'm like, "What the fuck? Like none of my friends deal with this. Like why am I?" So like I dealt with like probably like abandonment issues and stuff like that, and yeah, so middle school was a struggle, and I was trying to find myself. I'd like
just like everybody is.
yeah,
right?
yeah. Through puberty, it's like you're trying to find like what identity.
Who
are
am
you?
I?
Am I a punk rock kid? Am I like yeah? So
am I gonna change gender? Like you gotta
no. I mean
think
yeah,
about
that's
this
what's
thing.
crazy. Anyways, but like these days, like yeah, kids are
something.
royally confused with all the societal pressures of social media and
Yeah. So getting into high school, where was life at? Still
so I started smoking weed in 8th grade,
okay.
and not even because I wanted to, it was because like I didn't even need an escape by being high. It was just like I wanted to be cool. I wanted to be like, oh, the edgy
Smoke a J?
Yeah.
Was that the first thing?
No, how to like smoke a bowl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was back then. It was the catchphrase was like dank.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was like, and I really looked up to my cousin who smoked weed, and me and my buddy Alec were like the first two to smoke. Well, I think the first two to smoke weed. I was like, whoa, like those kids are cool.
Were you guys cool, or were you guys like the
we're
stoner
like
kids?
scummy stoner punk rock, like
not like the
losers.
athletic popular kids.
No, but I was also friends with them too.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, I was friends with everybody, but like I had like two core groups of friends who weren't friends with each other. They weren't enemies, but so like I would try and mingle with the cool kids, like Dan, out in LA. He was part of like the cool kid group, and it kind of made me
cool kid, like athletic cool kid group.
Well, there was athletic kids in it, but he was just like the popular kids.
Yeah.
And so like that made me feel like normal.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, even though my parents are divorced, I had like a weird childhood. Like I feel normal around them. And then there's like, I don't want to say the outcast, but kind of
The stoner kids.
Yeah, like that was like my other identity. So it's hard. I had trouble like finding myself where I fit in.
And who was Chris in that group?
Chris, was in the stoner group. But then there was like friends inside of the friend groups, and it was just, school's weird because it was kids are confused. They don't know what they want.
Yeah.
They're puberty and all this stuff. But
So started smoking 8th grade. Jesus.
yeah, I think it was, I want to say going into 9th grade, summer going into 9th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we're in high school. You're chilling, vibing. You got two friend groups.
Yeah.
Kind of liked by everybody. Just vibe and still have problems at home with your parents.
Not even problems. That was just normal.
Yeah.
There wasn't
just
any like
life
yeah.
at the time. For
Yeah.
you.
I just had been used to it. But yeah, I always struggled with like anxiety and
So then, did you get caught by one of your parents smoking weed? Where did like the big change happen?
so like 10th grade, I was just doing terrible in school.
Like F's or what?
Yeah.
Every class.
I want to say C's, D's, and a couple F's.
Okay.
And so my mom one day was like, "You're going to military school." boom, just like that.
Life change.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what? And it was in Texas. And so, whatever, I go to Texas for like 5-6 months to military school. I met a bunch of cool people there, like really close. Like when you go through bullshit, stupid, hard stuff like that with the people you're around, it's like you become really close. It's like when people are in the actual military that they serve with their like brothers.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, but like the people that were at the military school were like also, they weren't there because they wanted to be there. It was like degenerate, failing, drug addict, whatever it was, you know.
Did your parents know you were smoking weed at that time?
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, you know, my mom would fly and I'd be home. So like I would have parties at my house. My cousin lived with us at one point. So like he was like 4 or 5 years older. He would have people over. I would have people over, drinking, smoking, whatever. It would get chaotic. But yeah, it was just, so yeah, I went to military school. 3 of my friends died years later that I went to military school with from like either drug overdose or suicide.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. Anyway, so yeah, high school was weird, but
So then you come back and you're just thrown right back into Edina?
yeah.
That's so weird. Like,
And
how
it
did
didn't-
people react to that?
Well, like I remember I came back and then it felt good because it was like, oh my God, Jake. Like I felt like I was getting all
Welcome.
this praise. Welcome back. Oh my God, it's so good to see you. And then I just went back, you know, the first couple of weeks I get back, I'm like, I'm running, I'm making my bed, I'm, you know, being
you
disciplined.
changed.
Yeah, but as soon
Your
as
parents are like, it worked.
yeah, but then, you know, you get back into your old ways real quick if you have no accountability. And so I started smoking weed again and drinking. And then by, you know, senior year, it was like I was failing every class. I had to take a semester after high school, like in like a
Summer school?
alternative school
Yeah.
for a semester to finish classes. So that sucked. And
So you graduate high school now.
yeah.
What's your record look like? Any
My GPA?
minors? No.
Oh, my.
Like-
Oh, yeah. Well, I have 2 DWIs.
Yep.
They're from.
High school?
No.
Okay.
It was like when I was 19 and one when I was like 21.
Fuck.
Yeah. But that was over 10 years ago.
So spent the nights in jail, though.
Oh, yeah. And the second one, I spent a week in the workhouse, which is like you can be there and then you get to leave to go to work, but have to come back and spend your nights in jail.
Bro.
Whenever you get off work. And then I had an ankle bracelet,
No.
house arrest for like, I can't even, like 6 months maybe?
Holy.
Yeah, so pretty depressing times.
How was that?
Sucked.
So this is like basically
Oh,
out
and then-
of high school. Now
No,
you're
no,
fucking,
this was like, I think I was 24, because I got arrested again because I missed community service.
Oh. So you've been arrested 3 times.
I think 4. But I
4
don't
times?
remember. Yeah.
Spent
No
jail
felonies.
all 4 times.
Yeah.
Longest was a week.
Yeah.
But on work.
But it was like, yeah, work. You go to the workhouse. Yeah. So
Arrested 4 times.
yeah,
Spent 4 nights in jail at least.
probably a week.
What was that like?
It sucked.
Yeah.
I was wearing red shoes at the time, and I got in there, and like, you can't wear red shoes in here. You're gonna get fucking killed. And luckily, when I went in, the first day, I got in there at like nighttime, so I went to bed, woke up the next day, went to
Slept on what?
just a cot.
Yeah.
Yeah, luckily it was in a cell by myself,
Oh, that's huge.
but woke up, then went to breakfast, like the
Like
cafeteria, and one of the guys there knew me from community service that I did like a year ago.
For what?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I think it was DWI.
Okay.
So yeah, I was like, "Hey, yo," and I'm like, "Oh, thank God." And he's like, we did community service together," and I'm like, "Thank the Lord," because I was like, I don't know anybody here, don't know the etiquette, protocols of how to act, who to sit with, what to do, but it was, you know, it was the workhouse. It wasn't like actual like prison
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in your jumpsuit and fucking sucked.
What'd you do for work?
I worked at Home Depot at the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
so they would like a van would drop you off at Home Depot at.
No. My mom would pick me up.
Oh.
It was in the workhouse was in Plymouth, and my mom lives in Minnetonka, so it was like literally almost down the street from where my mom lived. Yeah, so that sucked, and
How'd that affect you and your parents' relationship?
I mean, I just at the time I didn't realize it, but like now now as a parent, if my kid got in all that trouble like I did, I'd be mortified. I'd be stressed every day, all day.
Do you think your parents were but didn't show it?
Oh, they showed it. Yeah. More so through anger. My mom would be furious. Just like, fuck. But like my mom and dad got back together when I was like 23.
So this is like, you've been to jail a couple times now.
Yeah.
And they get back together.
Yeah, so like my mom and dad got divorced when I was 3, got back together when I was 23-ish, somewhere around there. And then we're together for like 3 years until my dad passed away. And then I feel like I have a lump in my head. But yeah, so we'll just get into that. He had like 4 back surgeries. And the last back surgery he had, it was like complicated and had some complications and whatever. And he wasn't going to work and he was staying home taking like opiates, like painkillers and drinking. And I remember like he was like rocking in his chair one time like this, and just was like had this 1,000-mile stare. And like I really think he died from like something that went wrong with the surgery.
Yeah.
Like got an infection and it went to his brain. Something. Because he was like way off. It was weird. And he was always like so smart and like very intuitive and like could just read people. But yeah, my mom was flying. She was in China. I was home with my dad in our apartment that we all lived in. And I left in the morning to go to work. And then at work, I was like, oh, I don't feel well. Like, something's wrong. Like, I just don't feel well. At work, I made an appointment to go to the doctor's. And this person that I met in rehab, we didn't really get into rehab, but...
We'll get there.
I mean, well, it's not really... I don't know. There wasn't really much to talk about. But picked me up from Home Depot, brought me home because I wanted to get my laptop before I went to the doctor's, just because I was going early, because that's the only time I could get a ride there. And so...
Because you don't have your license.
No.
Because it's revoked because of the D-dubs? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. So I get into the apartment. She's waiting in the car downstairs, and it's just like eerily quiet. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, Dad. And I like go into my mom and dad's room, and my dad's there. And I'm like, Dad. And like he wasn't waking up, and like he had passed away. I was like, Dad, like yelling his name, and like it was scary as shit. It was my mom's in China, my dad's dead, like my friend's waiting downstairs. I run downstairs, I'm like, Amy, I think my dad's dead, like freaking out, like so scary. Like I don't even know how to explain it. Like if you've probably seen a dead body before, right? Even at like a funeral, it's just like the creepiest, scariest, and it's your parent, and it's like mortifying. And like, so she calls the cops come, and then like ambulance comes to take him away, check on him, whatever. And the cops are like interviewing me, being like, so how do you know Amy? Like basically interrogating me, like asking like basically if I killed my dad. It was just fucking horrible. And then the worst thing I had to do, I think, was call my mom in China.
Oh.
The time difference, and there's always this emergency number on the fridge. If like anything happens, you call this United Airlines number, and then they'll get a hold of her because I can't just call her in China.
Yeah.
So I called that number. explained to the lady what happened, and she's like, oh my God. And then my mom ends up calling me back like an hour later, and I tell her, and she's like freaking out, screaming and crying. And then so she has to fly home, and I'm just thinking like about her, 'cause
It's like a 20-hour flight.
it's like 18 hours just flying home on the plane, knowing that she's by herself, and it's just, I don't know, horrible. But so yeah, that happens.
So that happening,
Yeah.
did that change things for you in your life?
Yeah. I mean, I just became, at that time I was sober.
Yeah.
And
Life was starting to change.
yeah, I was sober, but then as soon as my dad passed, it was like me and my mom became like enemies. Like we were both going through shit mentally, emotionally, and you know, at the time I like had gotten, my dad died, so I just stopped going to work, and yeah, it was just horrible. I felt like a piece of shit. My mom was struggling, you know, I had to go to work, and I was just sitting at home. I'd wake up in my pajamas, stay in my pajamas all day, just like doing nothing, just depressed, doing drugs, like Xanax. I got back into that and all this stuff. And
What got you out of that
I had gone to rehab again.
after?
Yeah,
So
so I had gone once
you went to
before.
rehab before.
Yep,
Where did you go that first time?
Fairview, Riverside,
Okay.
in like
And
downtown Minneapolis.
Was that for alcohol?
No, it was
drugs?
never for alcohol. It was for like opiates and Xanax.
Okay. And would you even, like, how bad? How bad did it get? Like you popping pills every day?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
not knowing where the fuck you are, or like,
I mean, I would take it so much that was like my baseline. Like that was, you know.
feeling sober sucked type of deal?
Yeah, if sober, I would just withdraw from, you know, Xanax, which is deadly.
Yeah.
Like to withdraw from that, and then same with painkillers. And so being on the pills was like, okay, I can function. But it was, you know, I'd get them online, I'd get them wherever I could. You just, if you're a drug addict, like
You just find it.
You find them. You know what I mean? If you're desperate enough, you go out of your way, you can find it. And at the time, I realized like I would say I feel like everybody's an addict to an extent in something, whether it be business or coffee or nicotine or sex or whatever, porn, who knows, but everybody has that in them a little bit. Exercise.
Yeah.
But at the time, I feel like I was taking that stuff because my self-worth was just so low. I felt so bad about the direction of where my life was going, and just like who I became as a man. It was just embarrassing.
So then you went to rehab, came back, you were sober.
Yep, I was sober for like 5 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
And then I remember I ended up, what? Sorry, go
your
ahead.
dad, that whole situation with your dad kind of
I spiraled.
You spiraled right back into where you kind of were, or like even worse?
No, probably about the same, but it didn't last long until my mom and I sat down and like, was like, yeah, I need to
go back,
do something about this.
So then at that point, where did you go?
Hazelden.
Okay.
And luckily, like somehow my mom's insurance rolled over and she got put on like a default insurance that happened to cover Hazelden.
Oh, wow.
Which is like, Hazelden's expensive, and her insurance.
That's where Chris Farley went.
Yeah, and Mark Arvold.
Yeah.
And it just and it just happened to cover.
Do you remember some of the nurses or some of the people that were there?
Yeah, this guy, we had like a counselor. His name was Nick. I'm not going to say his last name, but Nick, and he was awesome.
Yeah.
And a lot of the counselors there are drug addicts.
Yeah, like
so
ex.
What? Yeah. Not active drug addicts, but yeah, ex-drug addicts, and are in the program. And even detox. I can't remember the lady's name, but yeah, there's just been so many people along the way that, you know, make an influence in your life that kind of help you during those shitty times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long were you at Hazelton?
30 days.
30 days.
Yeah.
You're out.
I'm out. I stay sober for 5. Oh, I go into a sober house with all these guys, still talk to this day. Some are sober, some aren't, but amazing group of guys. Bob, my mentor, he's sober.
Because then you get into AA meetings, right, too?
Yeah, I was going to AA meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to if you're in the sober house. You had
Yeah.
to go, I think, 4 times a week, 5 times a week.
Is it like the movies where it's like, my name's Jake, and everyone's like, hi, Jake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But AA meetings are awesome, though.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're awesome.
I should go, is that what you're saying?
No, I mean, unless you feel like you need to. No,
I'm just kidding.
it's seriously awesome, though. It helped me a lot. And then after being sober for like 4 or 5 years, I ended up drinking again, and it was different.
Yeah.
I wasn't like,
Where
I need more.
Where are you at?
That's
Age-wise?
probably, I was
28, 29, 30?
27.
Okay.
And it was just, yeah, it was like I was working at a nursing home. I felt like I was providing something. I was doing people's service by helping the elderly. I didn't feel like a piece of shit, so I didn't feel like I had to supplement drugs to make myself artificially feel better.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like how it's been ever since now, luckily, but
So then 27, 28, you're starting to work at the nursing home.
I think I started working there at like, I may have my dates mixed up. Like,
That's
it's
fine.
been all blurred, but like I started working at the nursing home. I worked there for 8 years.
Okay.
So I don't know when I'm 35. So, oh yeah, I kept thinking I was 32. Yeah, so like 27, 28.
Okay. So
That's
then
crazy.
where does Gene come into play?
That's like 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Okay. So what's in between you starting the nursing home job and
Yeah, so I was living in St. Paul on Grand
sober
Avenue.
still? Drinking here and there? Or like,
Yeah. It wasn't out of control, though.
Yeah.
I was never like, you know, I never spiraled again.
Yeah.
I would still have bouts of depression, but that's been normal since I've been a child. I've always had like anxiety and depression. Like my first fear as like a 6-year-old was carbon monoxide, like hardcore fear. I've always had like irrational fear of things, and I don't know. But yeah, so living in St. Paul, I ended up living with my best friend Alec in Bloomington. That was awesome. I was living with my best friend. We would hang out, and it kind of gave me a chance to like have someone else like hold me accountable, because I'd get sad and depressed, but there'd always be like another person there that would be like, hey, let's go
grab a drink.
Yeah, hey, let's watch a movie.
Yeah.
So it's like, so annoying. I just want to be depressed right now, and then you know.
Can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can, but it definitely
Weird.
helps.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So-
and then ended up, I skipped out on all my like past 2 relationships, but they weren't.
Nothing to talk about.
Yeah. But Gene, though, we ended up like matching on. Do you know what Plenty of Fish is?
No.
It's like the scummiest
Like
dating
Tinder,
app. Yeah, like before Tinder.
Before Tinder,
Yeah.
before Hinge.
Yeah, Tinder was around, but I just had Tinder and Plenty of Fish, and we matched on there. I think we both signed up like the same day.
Oh, no
And
way.
then we matched and just got rid of it. And then our first date, we met at the Depot in Hopkins.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, went on a walk, got coffee, and probably the worst first date ever.
Really?
Terrible.
Why?
She's quiet. It was
You're
just
depressed.
yeah, I know. It was just awkward. And
So how did you guys break that?
We didn't. Like, it was awkward almost the whole time. We ended up going our separate ways, and then later on that day, I texted her and I was like, "Well, that was awkward," and she was like, "Yeah, it was," or something like that, and that broke the ice. Whereas
Yeah.
we could both acknowledge like it was awkward, because she's like naturally a shy person at first,
Yeah.
and isn't like super outgoing and like me, I guess. Not that I'm super outgoing, but I can talk if I need to break the ice, and
Yeah. So that's what you did. So you guys kind of laughed about it,
yeah.
and that's where you guys.
Yeah, and then we went to go see a movie next, and
It's a good one. Can't
Yeah.
really talk.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, we kind of like I did the arm around her. She cuddled. Ladies, lady man, not lady man, ladies man. But yeah,
Lady.
it was cool. But yeah, and then we ended up finding a house
in Champlin.
in Champlin. And then
Were you guys?
She was pregnant at the time.
Okay.
And that's when I was like, oh, we need to find a house.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we found a house. We had Felix. And, yeah, everything's been...
How'd you find Tom?
My mentor, Bob,
Knows Tom.
knows Tom.
And gave you the in there.
Yeah.
And then
so-
you and Tom kind of got together pretty well and felt like you guys connected pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, Tom is kind of he's a hard ass. So, like...
It was good for you, honestly.
Yeah,
totally.
probably. It
Yeah.
kind of toughened me up a little bit in the business side.
And you started
And then,
at Edge as a loan officer, though.
Yes. And then...
Then it kind of transitioned into
Yeah, because I was making video.
President of the United States.
Yeah, I started making video content and editing and stuff. And
Who got you into podcasts?
who got me into podcasts?
Yeah. Like, who was the first podcast you ever did?
This was years ago, like years and years ago.
Okay, what was your first podcast that you were like, oh, this was fun, I should do this?
Was
it the
you want to say
Fireside-
you, but
yeah.
but
was it
no,
the Fireside Chat with Tom and me?
No,
The one you
was,
just sent
it
me?
It wasn't. It was with my cousin Ross.
Good
Sorry.
job, Ross.
But I mean, look where we are now. I'm not with Ross. I'm with Brady. So
Sorry, Ross.
yeah. But yeah, and things have been.
They've been good.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to LA.
Stable.
Yeah.
That's like really what I've been looking for my whole life is just stability
Where-
in a family and no chaos of drugs and alcohol and drama and trauma and
Where do you want to go from here?
start my own. I mean, it'd be great if eventually this has sponsorships and we could literally just do this and
Yeah,
edit clips and
that'd be awesome.
yeah, it'd be sweet, honestly, if we could just do this and then I can give the footage to an editor. He could do all that, and I just have to show up once a week.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice?
It's kind of
That's
where
what you
I'm
do.
at. So-
Yeah. I want to make sure I didn't.
But my real estate stuff's been busy lately.
Yeah.
4 mentees, all that stuff. But like,
So, yeah,
I know you were saying this. Like, you don't want to be in Minnesota.
No, I want to. Eventually, it'd be sweet to move to like the Southwest.
Southwest. I thought you were trying to move to like Virginia Beach.
I mean, literally anywhere that's like temperate weather. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything in my
Vegas.
In my whole story here.
I don't think you did.
There was some stuff that no, that was kind of the gist of it. But I just want to preface, so like,
you went through a lot though.
yeah, but I just want to say, like, I had in comparison to a lot of people, I had a pretty good protected childhood. Like, I wasn't.
Well, yeah, you were in Edina.
Yeah, okay. My parents were all, even though, my dad struggled and my mom, flew, and so she had to find people to watch. I had a pretty good childhood, and a lot of people cared about me and loved me, and I was, it was nice. Even though I feel like I only talked about the bad stuff, and it wasn't all bad.
What was some of the worst drugs you did?
Worst drugs?
Just opioids and
Oxycontin.
yeah.
Xanax. Xanax was honestly probably the worst and most dangerous. I would just take a handful and then with opiates and just fall asleep at my computer, wake up somehow, and yeah.
Did you ever worry about ODing? Or was that just like, if it happens, it happens kind of deal? Like, were you that deep into it?
I was
at
so
that point?
deep in it that I wasn't thinking about ODing.
Yeah.
Even though I probably have multiple times, but just didn't know because I was so out of it or like unconscious. But
Jesus Christ, dude.
it's so crazy. Like now compared to then, it's like night and day, and but it still can get like really dark for me. And
Oh, yeah.
I've like mastered the art of
Hiding
putting
it?
putting on a
That
like
mask.
Yeah,
I've seen you do it.
yeah. It's nice though, like matching the energy of someone in the room so that I don't have to. I don't know.
Bring the energy when you don't want it or don't have it.
Like if someone's crushing it, I don't want to come in and be like, "Oh man, I've been really sad lately," and they're like, you know.
Well, I'm writing 2 offers today. Get a million.
Yeah. When you always walk in with some like I'm successful vibe, and I'm like, yeah. But I don't know.
It was a lot. You've been through a lot. You've done a lot. You've seen a lot.
But there's people out there that have like doesn't even scratch the surface of.
Compared to my childhood and your childhood, dude, pretty fucked up. If you ask me.
Well, yeah. But that's good. That's one thing I liked about you is that you acknowledge like, yeah, I loved my childhood. My parents are amazing, and I had it really good. I like that because a lot of people try and impress people by how hard their childhood was, or like, you know what I mean? It's like, come on, dude. And even me, like, I don't like to talk about it a lot because like I had a really good childhood. It's just you had
a really good childhood because you had the opportunities to like be alone, have parties at your house, drink, do oxys and Xanax. Like,
yeah, it's all perspective.
Right? That's what you wanted to do, so you did it.
Yeah.
And you had the opportunity to.
Killed it.
You killed it at doing drugs.
Yeah.
You did it. So you made it.
But no, it's kind of embarrassing to talk about my past because it's like, ew, like, because it is kind of, it's kind of grimy, a little grimy. But it's what happened, and it's shaped me into who I am today. And I feel like I could have not done all that stuff, and I'd be way better off. But kind of now I feel like I'm more empathetic to people that are struggling or go through stuff. And it's like...
Yeah, I mean, everybody's struggling with their own things, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Everybody is. There's conversations I have with people all the time that... I mean, we talk to... I guess I talk to a lot of people where they're making a huge financial decision in their life.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's like on their up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're like, God, I never thought I would have been here.
Yeah, or when they can't afford it and you have to tell them like, hey, no, this isn't, I know you're struggling and you really want to get this house, but you can't. That's tough too.
It is.
Yeah.
It's even like me. Like, I don't think I'll be able to get a house.
Not yet, but you will get a house.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or not. When the grid goes out, you'll be back at your parents.
At that
like
point,
how I circled back?
Yeah. If the grid goes out, I'm going out. I'm going to be a caveman.
Yeah.
Live with my parents. We have a wood burning fireplace.
Nice.
Like, we have axes. I'll chop down some trees if I need. Like.
Yeah, you are like in a perfect location if shit does hit the fan.
Yeah, I'll just.
And you're around like farms too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's farms everywhere out there.
Yeah.
If I could make my own farm.
Yeah. Minecraft that shit.
Punch trees and make crafting tables. That's a deep story, though. I mean, you've been through a lot. I don't care what you say. You've been through a lot. You've created a lot of really close friends along the way, and you're still connected with them, and I think that's really cool. I'm not connected with like my friends from high school as well as you are.
That's okay though.
Yeah, I totally understand that, but
that happens. Sometimes you grow out of your friends.
I did. I was talking about this with someone today. I grew out of some of the people in my past.
Yeah.
And this person I was talking to is growing out of some of the people in their current life.
Yeah.
And it's starting to hit him, and he doesn't know how to react.
I mean, you can only try and bring other people up as much as you can, but sometimes people just aren't ready for it, and sometimes you just got to fly solo.
And I think that's how me and Maddie were.
Yeah.
You know, she still loved going out drinking with her friends, and I'm like, hey, like that just ain't my vibe, because that's just not who the person I am and I want to be. I want to be this successful person, agent, podcast star with Jake that I can be.
You can still be successful though and party and stuff.
Oh yeah, you definitely can, but I think it brings you down a lot.
Yeah, what is it? You drinking borrows tomorrow's happiness.
Yeah,
was it something like that?
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you're doing really well, and I'm proud of you for everything you've overcame and got to where you are.
Likewise. Dude,
Yeah.
I tell everybody, I was like, Brady's crushing it.
Thank you, man.
I always brag about you.
Yeah, I love what you're doing with editing and the business you're trying to create. I think you're going to go far.
Fine, we'll see.
So.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right, cool. Like, comment, subscribe.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke. Not Coke. We're done with drugs.
Oxy. All right, bye.
Now I'm doing well, you try to get close to me. This the type of shit, smoke relief. I don't care enough to fall to you. Swear I'm only taking no from me. So I said, wishing I've been hoping, drinking I've been smoking, smile at every person I see. And I've been trying to find a single fucking gift, but they don't ever give a fuck about me. I'm careless, I'm a drinker,